Thank you for staying with us on the Pulse on Joy News. And I'll have you know, if you've been indoors, it's raining cats, dogs, and other animals here in Kokomlemle, but well, we are home and dry. Today, we are talking about how it's going to rain football in our 16 days from now. It's the 2018 Women's African Cup of Nations, which we've been building up to. The host nation, of course, is Ghana, and the Black Queens are preparing. But how are they doing so? In studio with me is Baba Tando, who has been keeping an eye on all that, especially with the fact that the Queens are going to Zambia to play. What's the lowdown? What are we hearing?
Well, it's true. After staying in camp for about 3 months at the Ghana Soccer Center of Excellence in Pram, finally the ministry and the local organizing committee for the Women's AFCON and of course government on the whole have actually seen that it is prudent for the ladies to be sent on an international training tour because of course you can't just stay in your home country and expect that you're going to test every area of your team. It doesn't work like that. So they organized they lined up 3 friendly matches for them. So they start first with Zambia on Saturday, and then they play Kenya on 7th. They come back to Ghana to play the Banyana of South Africa. This is actually what we've been hoping for, even though we wish that it was going to come earlier than it has come now, because it looks like it's still close to the competition. But it's okay. It means that the ladies will still be fresh from, you know, their friendly matches, fresh from working on their mistakes that they probably will be making during the friendly matches. So it's okay. So part of the team is actually in Zambia as we speak, and due to flight arrangements, the remaining team is actually on their way to join the first 3
So the second batch have also left?
I want to believe so.
Okay, so they'll be in Southern Africa for the Zambia game.
For the Zambia game, travel to East Africa for Kenya, and then they come back to Accra for the Banyana game.
To play South Africa. Yeah. Right. These are the kind of preps we want, and we heard the coach of the side say that she understands why a lot of Ghanaians feel these matches should have come earlier. But she also reminded us that teams prepare for tournaments differently, and sometimes you want them to peak at the right time. You don't want to start playing international friendlies. Well, from your independent assessment, is this a feasible, not excuse, but explanation?
Okay, it really doesn't make sense to me. I'll be very honest with you. Because look, I've been monitoring Nigeria. I've been monitoring the Nigerians are getting more than we are getting in terms of preparations, but even they feel that the government has been unfair to them by, you know, making them underprepared. I've been monitoring Cameroon. The people are serious. You know what? When you go to tournaments and you see countries who have prepared, it shows in their results. I mean, you prepare very well when you go to tournament. When you go to a tournament, it will show. What has Ghana done in the AFCON in the last God knows how many years? What have we done? What have we got to show in all the World Cup appearances? It's because of our preparations. We do shambolic preparations, and so we go and we get shambolic results, and that's just what's happening. As for the coaches, they would, of course, they would have to manage the situation very well. But look, it should have, by now, we should have known our final 21 woman list. We should have known. But as it stands now, the team is still about 30 plus. And he still has to prune down to 25 first before he prunes down finally to 21. I mean, look, we could have done better, far better with our preparations. It's just like the Youth Olympics. We went ill prepared. The countries who were prepared beat us to every competition. In fact, we didn't even go to where we were supposed to get to. We couldn't make a final. We couldn't make it was only Abeku Jackson and of course Solomon Diafo who did it. But I mean, like, let me come back to the Black Queens. It's going to be the same for those of you who are, or for those people who are, you know, going by the mantra host and win, host and win. I beg to differ. I mean, look, if you have not invested in the players, what happens if Ghana goes into this tournament and doesn't win a medal? What happens to all the preparations that we've done, to all the infrastructure that has been built, to, you know, everything will go down the drain. But if you invest in the main architects of this game, which will be the players, if you have invested in them, then you have every reason to demand that, look, we've given you 101% of your preparation, so we expect that you give us a trophy. But look, what have they done? Nothing. So you can't hold them to it. Right.
So speaking of preparations, despite the outlook Baba has given, which is not too bright, the spokesperson of the local organizing committee is calling for your support. Evelyn Insiasari.
We only need their support and their prayers. I remember 2004 when they filled the Accra Sports Stadium for us. That is what we are looking for again. We remember that day very well. That was 14th February 2004. They showed their love, even though we couldn't win, to be able to qualify to Olympic Games for the first time. But we believe once we are hosting this tournament for the first time, the ministry has done what is expected of them. The LOC is really working. They have been in the meeting since morning. They left around 6 p.m. That tells you that they are really in business. So we believe that if the country gives their maximum support behind the Queens and the LOC, the Black Queens will lift this trophy for the first time in the history of women football and in the history of Ghana football.
So counting on public support, however, I mean, as we know, football, there are instances where public support can push teams that are 60–70% prepared. However,
thanks for adding that. Thanks for adding that.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to be prepared. You see, once you've done your homework well, with a little bit of public support, you are good to go. You are home and dry. But here we are. We are now going for our, Zambia and Kenya friendlies. Then we'll come back and play against South Africa. And look, it's fine.
It's only 3 matches.
It is okay. At least, what would have happened if we didn't get these 3 friendly matches? That would have been a different, situation. But we've gotten them. It's fine. They will come back, like I said, fresh from all of these matches, fresh from working on their mistakes, and we'll see.
We'll see.
But host and win. Let's minimize our expectations. Yeah.
Okay. So Baba Tando, with that assessment of the situation there, the African Cup of Nations for women starts on the 17th. That's in a couple of days' time. It's just around the corner now. Thank you for staying with us on The Spot. I'm Gary.